Greetings, salutations, and other big words. My name's Ethan, my handle is Wrangler, and welcome to Frequency Studios. It's Monday night, time to unwind. Here we are, the weekly Wing It. Let me bring the co-host right on in. And here we got with us, first up tonight, James Esparza. James, welcome back.
Hey, thank you for having me, as always. It's good to be back. I always kind of feel like the opening to an old school Nickelodeon show going on right here, where they introduce all the candidates for some of their old school, the word's not coming for game shows they used to have.
Double Dare and all that.
Yeah.
By the way, I need you
like
to stand on the stage and say, I don't know.
Right.
And also with us so far tonight is Raven Nevermore. Raven, what have you been up to?
Hey, yeah, I had a big and disappointing weekend because I wanted to go down to I had never heard of it before, but apparently there was a retro expo here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and Quarter Black Garrett said that he was going to be there. And by the time I got there, it was done for the day.
Oh, lame.
Bummer.
But
well, hopefully tonight will go a lot more fun for you than that.
Yeah, it was a fun drive, so at least that was good.
And next up, Maji Chan, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Just chilling. How about you?
Doing okay. Any projects going on this past week?
Kind of.
Cool. Anything you can mention or not yet?
Not quite sure. Well, we could get into that. How's that sound?
That sounds good. And before we get into that, let's get into the chat. Wrangler Varillion, he was back. This is back over an hour ago. He stopped by. He's probably hitting the sack by now. He said, "Crush the like button." Thank you, Wrangler, aka Black Knight. Raven Nevermore. He's in two places at once. All hail the Fellowship. And then Redoubt Productions. I'm somewhere around Barstow. Hang on, I had a notification pop up over top his chat thing here. I can't see it. Okay, there we go. I'm somewhere around Barstow when the Iron Age began to take hold.
Nice.
Where were you when the Iron Age began to take hold?
I was on YouTube staring at my phone.
Like, oh, look at that. That seems familiar. Yeah, I can get behind that. Yeah.
I was hitting my head on the table because I watched the latest Marvel review.
Ooh.
Oh.
I gave up on those after the first TV show.
I don't know. It wasn't all bad. Just mostly bad.
Just mostly bad. Yeah.
Yeah,
you know,
it was
like
mostly
World War
peaceful.
II. That was mostly bad, you know. This is mostly bad.
No, I did like Werewolf by Night, and I know a lot of people had issues with it, but I thought Loki was fun.
I actually haven't seen Loki.
I haven't seen that either.
Yeah, I've not seen the new TV show for that. And like, I was trying to remember the last thing that I actually watched. I think it was the Falcon and Winter Soldier, which I painfully watched.
Yeah, that was. I mean, it wasn't the most horrible thing in the world, but it was way too much like, hey, let's go on the nose with what's happening in the news. And like, no, I want to turn something on and get away from what I'm seeing in the news.
I hear that.
Yeah.
Redoubt Productions asked, "What's a Loki?" Loki is the Norse god of mischief and a Marvel character.
Yep. It's funny because Freckles was on that, and she keeps showing up on bad shows. I don't know. I don't know if it's her fault for that or whether it's just that she keeps getting asked to do stuff and she says, "Oh yeah, that sounds like a good idea," and then it's just bad.
There's a few actors and actresses that end up with predicaments like that.
Okay, so this should tell you how bad Falcon and the Winter Soldier is. I have a friend that's diehard Captain America fan, especially with Falcon. Like,
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, well, this is now. But
As in for the comics, not the movies, right?
yeah,
Yeah, old school
well,
90s,
definitely not the
80s.
show. But even for her birthday, when we went down to the Fan X Expo, managed to get a signed copy of The Winter Soldier by Stan Lee, one of his last
wow.
public appearances for her birthday. She
Oh.
watched the show and she won't even discuss it.
Yeah,
Oh,
That's how
wow.
disappointed she is with it.
that's
Oh,
pretty bad.
wow.
And it's got all three of her favorite characters: Captain America, Bucky, and freaking Falcon. And that should tell you something.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah,
Black
I was
Knight,
actually,
aka Wrangler Verillion. He is in the chat. Hell, I thought you would have been asleep by now, dude. Good to see you.
from all the original shows that were coming out, that one I was excited for the most until I started seeing them, and then I was like, okay, it's none of these are going to be good.
That's because, yeah.
I saw the first show, WandaVision. It's like, this is terrible. I'm just gonna wait for the reviews for Loki and see what that was like. And then when I saw that was like on the downward spiral, I was just like, all right, I'm just not even gonna watch any of them.
I think I enjoyed WandaVision probably more than most others, only because at the time was not yet soured and I was in lore digging mode. So I was sitting there looking for hints at what was coming in the background and everything. So I wasn't really paying so much attention to the story, but where are the Easter eggs?
Mm-hmm. Even the second.
Yeah, kind of same here with me as well. I was kind of worried about it, but a friend of mine asked me what I thought about it and stuff because he'd been watching it and he thought it was pretty good and stuff. And then it got down towards the end, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just don't know how to just explain my disappointment in the ending.
So, speaking of excited, I guess we can reveal it since Agmar is excited here. Black Knight and I have been talking. We've been trying to figure out a way to help get his Star Shatter out more because he was a little worried about it not selling well, especially with his newest book that came out. But him and I convinced him that he needs to make a YouTube short, kind of like a drunk 3PO commercial where he does an overview of his Star Shatter universe. But kind of James has been working with him trying to figure it out. We've been looking into, he asked me to do voice acting, but if there's somebody else more qualified to do a voice acting, I'm gonna shill it out there for him. That's why he's so excited, is because we're trying to figure out how to make take advantage of the YouTube short algorithm right now and try to get a little 60-second promo video.
Cool.
Cool.
So
are you gonna run it on it's gonna be one of those commercials that pops up like you can skip this, or?
Well, it'll be just like a little YouTube short that will just randomly show up on people's feeds and or send them the link and they can play like a little commercial between the when they're doing their streams and stuff. Just something to help kind of spread the word. You might be able to do something similar with your book too. So now the shorts.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as that video is ready, let me know. I will share it wherever I can.
But then, because right now the shorts is all the algorithm showing, right now might be the best time for all you guys Iron Age creators to make like a little 60-second promo of your book and get it out.
Do what they do in Hollywood where they make a 5-second promo followed by a 55-second promo.
We need that awesome voiceover trailer guy again.
World.
That guy, yes. Yeah. I do believe he passed away a few years back. I think he was Carlos Mencia even got him on one of his shows once. See, whoops. All right, story time. The only movie I've waited in line for was No Way Home. When someone asked me about my thoughts on Endgame, I replied, "Oh, I'm just here for William Dafoe." They asked me who that was.
Oh boy.
That's pretty good.
Uh, Endgame
Okay.
was a breed of its own, or not Endgame. No Way Home was a breed of its own.
I
No
still
way
have not
home.
seen that one. I need to
You
watch
would
it.
not be disappointed.
Yeah, well, I think I have like all of the other Spider-Man movies on DVD, so I'll probably pick that up as well.
That was the latest one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It had some issues in some regards, not perfect, but I mean, I think it's definitely for the fans. For the fan, worth at least
Considering
the
all
first
the
watch is going to be the best watch.
Yeah, considering all the shit we've had lately, it was a nice break.
It was. They didn't push it too hard, although there was one or two things
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, Wrangler Verilion says definitely you should do the same, Wrangler. Actually, I was discussing that with somebody yesterday, so
Uh,
I might.
I didn't steal your idea, I swear. I was trying to convince.
No, I wasn't talking about you.
But yeah, if anybody thinks they could do a better voice impression, I am all for it. Go for it, because we need help getting this short out for Black Knight.
Probably not for
Hell
that
yeah.
price range, though.
Yeah, probably not, but I mean, I could throw in a $50 Amazon card if we need to.
Depends how many words there are. I've hired voice actresses before. It comes down to the words, really, and then you can.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's already got the little blurb out. He sent it to me to see if it would work.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Huh.
I probably should have read that out loud instead of in my head. We are kind of on a live show. It says, Maji Chan, I am talking to one old school liberal poet to make a reading of my newest poem, the nursery rhyme that you already read. Yeah, that'd be interesting to see how well someone liberal minded gets through that poem.
Well, so the blurb he sent me, I'm reading it, so obviously I haven't had time to practice, so sorry, it's going to sound terrible. But this is what he said. The Star Shadow series is a space opera set on an alternative history of Earth. In this violent galaxy, the underdog Terrans and their uplifted brothers in sentience battle space pirates, brutal slavers, Arthurian empires, known for their love of life, large families, and faithful friends. The malevolent humans will never surrender. Because one never lets go of what one loves, but fights for it to the death. That's pretty much his blurb for his book.
Mm-hmm. Sounds lovely, dramatic.
Yeah, but I don't know if a 12-year-old kid voice should be saying that, because you want to capture that sense of survival, life and death, because that's what his book is. As much as fun and lovable as it is, there's a lot of fighting and death.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to think of yourself as more than a 12-year-old sounding voice. Honestly, it never even occurred to me until you said it a couple of times.
But I mean, I've played enough video games. Most people think I am.
Oh, what? Oh, a 12-year-old?
Yes.
I guess. I don't know. No. Let you know when I need a kid's poem read.
Watching Spider-Man No Way Home and Ghostbusters Afterlife so close to each other was so refreshing, like having an apology served to me on a silver platter. By the way, now people are loving that new story I wrote, A Peaceful Man.
Nice.
Is that a published book or on a website?
A peaceful man.
Readout Production said, well, old school liberal and 2020 liberal are different things. Yes, very much so.
To answer your question, he wrote it for a magazine submission. I don't think it was for Iron Age. It was for somebody else, but it kind of got rejected. But it is a really nice story. It really is.
Most of them can get rejected, I'm sure. There,
I
So,
one
so I don't
time
know. I never
I
tried
one
that.
time turned on a video called "Why Your Manuscript Gets Rejected," and it was all these readers for a publishing company saying why they might not approve one, and almost all of them were saying there wasn't enough diversity and yada yada yada. I'll go back to that again. It was like, well, no wonder there's so many indie publishers now.
Yep.
Hey, Black Knight, if you send me, DM me that link to your Mind story
enough
that
diversity.
you posted, I could give it to Frequency real quick. The one he's talking about.
Your book's not racist enough for my racist sensibility.
Yeah.
I just don't like how there's your character's white for one. That's offensive. Secondly, it's not enough black people. That's offensive.
Well, yeah, I know. There's plenty of talking animals, aliens, but apparently it's not diverse enough.
Right, and I'm sure they'll just
It should be.
plaster some race on top of each of those to turn it into a nice little thing to hold against you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's like they're space elves or they're whatever. Who cares what color they are? Why are you trying to say they're this thing or that thing or whatever?
Because they're racist.
We should make
Yeah.
a movie and make everyone's skin color one of three, either green, orange, or purple.
Yes. Actually, I've been joking about the green people, partly because of the fact that in Star Trek there's the that one species, and in old Trek there is mostly women.
Gorillas, man, that's your problem. That's why you got flagged, man. It's the gorillas.
Yep, gorillas.
Hey, Frequency, I sent you the link on Gilded.
Okay. Checking it up, just popped.
I think they'd hate mine because I purposefully went out of my way to make basically all the peoples of my land just kind of like, because it's very secluded location, so it's very easy to do. They kind of already intermingled to the point where there's not really a set race. So go ahead, take that one, Wokies. Everybody's just. Some people look more Asian than others, but they don't care because they're going to look at your clothes and the dialect of how you speak and how you walk and talk more than what your skin looks like, because it's all about your culture. Your culture is what separates you, not those other things.
Man, I totally break the rules on that given my name.
Maji, I do not have enough permissions to view that, so if it was going to be shared, you might have to do it. You should have the ability to screen share if you're able to see it.
Let me see if I can pull it up. Let's see. I could try. Maybe. Well, he actually sent me the PDF. Hold on.
Hey, that's cheating.
Is this the
No,
short
we need
story?
to get to behind the firewall here,
Oh, yeah.
or
yeah,
else it's no
right.
fun.
You're right. Hold on.
Do we know? I've been actually reading The Wizard's Stone by Herman P. Hunter. By reading, I mean listening to the audiobook. But someone who reads books said that's also considered reading, so I'll take their authority on that. I've been enjoying it so far. It's a nice adventure tale that goes right into the adventure in the back, introduces your characters, sets up some conflict, and you get quite invested early on. I like the characters, and then they're on a boat right now, so we'll see what happens.
Cool. I'm in the middle of The Black Saint by Timo Burnham, and the main character Theo is pretty cool. He's got a special ability. He can sense other people around him. So, like, he could, almost like a sense of physical touch, but it's outside in the air beyond his own skin. He can feel it
like an aura.
Yeah. So it's like if he goes up to a wall, he can tell, all right, there's 3 people on the other side, and he knows right about where they are. He can just feel them there, like it, like like a sense of touch. So that makes doing the cloak and dagger stuff a little bit easier for him. But believe me, things have not been easy for him.
Yeah.
And I also love his pet Cyvoth ribbon.
Ribbon.
Hmm.
Nice. And what are you reading there, Raven, if anything?
I'm currently, well, I actually had some time to sit around and read like several pages in a row this time for Star Warden by Donovan Walker. And now that I've been able to sit around and actually read a couple pages in a row rather than read a sentence or read a paragraph and then get distracted and then come back and have no clue what was going on, it seems to be much better of a read. Not normally my cup of tea, but it's pretty decent for the fact that it's like Saturday morning cartoons.
Nice.
Oh, all right. There you go.
And it's got some interesting pictures in it. It's pretty easy reading, so that's something that a younger kid could probably pick up and read and have no problem with. Which was part of the reason why I got it. Was I wanted to see, hey, can I send this to my nephew or kid later on or something?
Trippy said he thought he could watch, but the music's loud and his connection sucks. So have a great show. Catch you later. Take it easy, Trip. We'll talk to you later.
All right, so this is Agmar Virillian's.
This is what you've been reading.
Well, yep, this is his Minds page. Basically, it's like a Substack.
Agmar Virillian.
Yep, it's just Agmar, I believe, is his name. Yeah.
All right. Sounds like a space western character. We got to go hunt down that Agmar Virillian.
Yep. Actually, this is kind of different from his other ones. He made it a short, like I said, it was originally for a magazine. So it's like a little short suburb or short blurb, different from his other works. But his Minds has got a bunch of different things on it. So feel free to check it out. I mean, he's already got 54 likes. And this was just uploaded today.
Oh, that's nice. That's good. I think. I don't know. I don't mind it.
So yeah, it's minds.com/Agmar, and that would bring up all his little blurbs and stuff. Let me see. Does this? Yeah.
Okay. Star Shatter.
And then he's got all sorts of different little things going on here that you could check out, and it's actually kind of a cool little exploration if you want to take a look more into the Star Shatter universe.
Nice.
You know, when I was first reading through the book, I really considered Awesome to be my favorite character. but by the end, and as I was kind of digesting things more, Anitsa ended up being my favorite.
I actually like the morale officer and Cat.
Those two both, along with Awesome, those 3 are all like competing for second place.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, cool.
Inception.
Dang, I wish I was eating mushrooms right now.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm not sure which of the characters I like the most. Thinking back on it, I do like Awesome. I guess you could say I like all of the characters for different reasons, but they all have their good points.
Now it's really getting trippy. See, we will have Trippy here one way or another. If not the person, then Maji-chan's screen effects. Now you're going to start your own studio.
I'm accidentally gifted, okay? But yeah, so that's what we've been trying to work up as a way to kind of get more advertisement out. And I really think right now with the algorithm the way it is on the YouTube shorts, it's probably the best way. And I would encourage anybody in the Gilded or anybody trying to get word out, now is your best time to make like a little 60-second short of your video, kind of like how Drunk 3PO did of your
Mhm.
book and stuff, and then just put it out there and see what we can do.
I did joke, make a 5-second promo followed by a 55-second promo. I was half joking because most people only watch the first 5 seconds of any short video they're watching, like 90% of them.
That first 5 seconds, if I've learned anything from impromptu and debate, your first sentence you speak draws the entire crowd. It's kind of crazy.
No pressure.
No pressure, right? Yeah.
I know I'm weird, but I almost watch the whole video all the time. At least, especially on those shorts. But then again, whenever I do bother, it's because it's somebody I'm watching. They're talking about something that I want to hear, and so it's not something that I just randomly came across.
Yeah, but one thing I like to do is especially if the commercials is only 15 seconds or less, I let it play through instead of skipping. That way, whoever made the video is getting a quarter for it.
Mhm.
Oh, there's commercials on those?
Yeah. If it's longer, then I'll wait till 30 seconds, then skip it. Because I think they still get the credit for the commercial running on their video if it goes longer than 30 seconds.
If it's a YouTuber I like, yeah.
Hope you didn't get any ads on any of my videos.
Nope, not yet. Although sometimes I see ads on videos for channels where I don't think they're big enough to be monetized yet.
Yeah,
I mean, they got like
they're
less than 200. They got videos. I'm like, well, I definitely want to let that play through, so they're getting something.
No, they don't get anything for those.
Oh, they don't.
No,
if they're not monetized, they don't get anything.
If they're not monetized, why are they playing videos?
So they can get it.
So they could get the ad revenue and trick people into watching them.
Yeah.
Yep.
They put it on a smaller channel, so they get.
Well, I know a certain little skip button that's about to get a lot more use.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying if you see any on mine, go and skip because I didn't put them there.
I don't make videos, but if they ever appear on my videos, skip. You have my permission.
All right. Well, if I see you over 1,000 subscribers, I'm letting it play.
That will never happen. It's okay.
Right? I actually went over 100 subscribers like a couple days ago. I'm at 104 right now. Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yep. So the shorts, they've been slowly compiling. At least the subscriber base. I need to upload more. I'm getting two short stories and audio version right now. One of them is already printed in actually I should say published in my own magazine because screw everybody else's that's out there. I'm not going to put my story and submit it to some magazine to get rejected 14 times. So I decided, hey, let's make my own, and I made my own magazine in 2 days, and now I'm going to produce my own monthly magazine. The first one's out there at worldwithoutendlore.substack.com. Get yourself a free one right there. I'm trying to put one flash fiction story in there a month if I can. I got maybe 2 of them in the works, but I'm definitely putting a lot of stuff in there lore wise, making it a gigantic lore dump, and I'm making it look fantastic.
Okay, I might have to check that out because I know Iron Age Media has been looking at doing a magazine, and I think he's getting ready to send the first one out. I think.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of interested in how how all that's going to work. Like, is that going to be a PDF, or is that just going to be like a email newsletter or something?
I think he said it's be PDF as well as a physical copy, or at least that's like the overall want.
Okay.
Yes, but I honestly didn't even know anybody else was making one. I just had this first of the month lore drop I did where I just put out a bunch of stuff. And I thought, hey, would it be cool if I just put this in the form of a magazine? And then I did, and then it just, like all things I do, goes way overboard and above my head, and I somehow still accomplish it to a satisfactory degree. I was like, okay, that'll do.
That's awesome.
What's up, Black
I gotta
Knight?
check that out.
So
Thank you. Thank you. It's got great cover art. How you doing, Black Knight? What's new?
yeah, what's new? It's late and it's new.
Okay. What have you been reading? I've been asking everybody that. What have you been reading?
Except drafts, notes, and stuff and articles and research. Mm, I did read three um, short story drafts,
Uh-huh.
which were not mine, and kind of did some quick, wholesome comments on them. A bit similar to what I did to um, that short that Magic Chan sent me.
All right. Nice.
Yeah, it's, I mean, I usually don't have the time to do extensive like editing and stuff, because otherwise I won't have it. Like I won't be sleeping at all. So yeah, like the creative part, um, I'm not someone who will tell them that, oh, you should do what I tell you to do. Yeah, like yeah. This specific story structure, you have to follow it. You don't have to use these words. You have to use these other words. No. I'm not. Um, I'm not doing this. It's more of a inspirational comments and stuff, that things that are already good and can be made better, even better, and even more like lively, and basically like energize the author of said story or whatever it is to do more of the same. So
Yeah, give them a little confirmation, going on the right path there.
yeah. One of the stories was about like something similar that I made in my fifth Star Shutter book, which is agents of a much more developed galactic society who land on like a primitive planet, a bit of a Conan style world, where they don't have almost any technology. I mean, I think it's like in the story they had like a steam engine, something like a proto steam engine, something super simple, and they used it in one of their temples to swindle the peasants. It's like, ooh, our god is possessing this statue. You must give us more gold and pay more taxes to the temple, or the god will will crush you. It was nice. I liked it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that. I mean, I spent, I think, 17 hours today as a whole.
You're facing a bunch of words, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I hear that. Yeah. But do you ever get that excited feeling when you wake up when you get to just start writing that next chapter? When you come up with a good idea in the back of your head, you're like, "Oh, I know exactly where to put that."
Oh, yeah, and I have, as you, I think, as I mentioned many times before, I have like a ton of drafts and draft notes and even like quotes, quotations, and single sentences, one-liners even, and, and I have like, um, let me see where I can and use it the best. Like,
hmm
where would it be most appreciated, this line or whatnot. So yeah,
I hear that.
during the polishing process, I do that a lot.
That's one of the great things about the polishing process. There, you get to just start to really mess with your work just a little bit more and fine tune it. And it's easier for me because I got short stories. But I think I consider myself the most amateur amongst writers in this freaking writing group thing we got going. But I'm from what I hear, that's how a lot of people feel.
One of my best teachers, she said that we are all beginners, uh, and we are always beginning until the end.
Mm, we're
So
always beginning until the end.
anyone who tells you, "Oh yeah,
Mhm.
it's like we have this like super big um, and ultra established, let's say, um, Hollywood screenwriter, and we must all emulate him or her, and we must not deviate in any way, shape, or form
Yeah.
from this like of already established orthodoxy. And if you dare, like, if you dare do something different, something new, or something that was before that, something older, much like the some older genre or something else, then you're not a real
Mhm.
script writer, or you're not a real
Oh
musician.
yeah.
You're not a real, like, no, fuck that.
Yeah.
This is how everything gets stale, stagnant, and then the pendulum swings, and then you get this extreme canceling bullshit, and ooh, you can't say that joke because to offend
Mhm.
someone's fifis, and you can't write about this group of people because you're not one of them. No, fuck
Yeah.
them.
And if you really think about it, not even think about it, just I say look at it. Because I was doing a bit of research earlier, and if you see some of the best-selling authors, and some of them that names like Robert E. Howard, or I believe it's Lester Dent, they were considered lowbrow. They were considered like, nothing of their time. They were some pulp writers who come out with stuff every other month for people to read and absorb, and then you move on. And at their time, they were considered less than literary and
Oh
not
yeah.
good at all. And then they're like
Yeah,
Conan, man, the guy who
yeah,
made Conan, and even to even go further, Shakespeare. Shakespeare was considered lowbrow as well.
yeah.
Well, the other thing was like, oh, you made it on a TV show. Who cares? That's not a movie, and that's changed a lot over the years as well. But it
hmm
used to be, if you weren't in a big, huge movie thing, then you weren't it, even though you were doing some TV show. And I've had a lot of actors and actresses that I didn't care. I liked them on the TV show that showed up every week a lot more than some of these weirdos in Hollywood movies.
There was a weird phenomenon going on late 90s, early 2000s. It seemed like all the big movie stars were trying to get guest spots on television shows, and all the television stars were
Yeah.
trying to become
Movie
movie
stars.
stars.
That's funny.
Yeah, well, like even the 80s and probably further back, I don't remember when like Dukes of Hazzard got started, but that was a big, huge.
That was late 70s.
Yeah, that was a big, huge phenomenon. I mean, people went
It's
bonkers
evil.
for that.
It's evil, yeah, super evil. Right now, it's like, oh, Dukes of Hazzard, it's racism and shit.
That's
Yeah,
where we are right now. That's where we are right now. When you
No,
let,
no.
I miss Daisy
That's
Duke.
who they are. We are,
That's who
we
they
are,
are.
we are not one of them. We
Well, they're the ones in charge of the controls, the media sphere,
Yeah.
and we're trying to
Yeah,
wrestle them back.
they're in charge of rudderless boat,
Mhm.
and they're rowing in circles.
They got a lot of resources,
well,
though.
I think Dukes of
Well,
Hazzard.
they are rowing quickly, really quickly, and that boat is big. It's like, it looks awesome. It's opulent, like it has like all sorts of gold and shit on it. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's sinking.
Well, what are these pages you flipping by? See, we got a storefront here, huh?
Yeah.
Mhm.
All these books were written by some guy I think we know.
And
Right, that's a lot of books.
the intro. Oh
I'm
no,
getting closer to Twin Sons.
oh yeah, yeah. It's
Did you think you'd end up writing this many books? Like,
no.
how'd you get here?
No, I didn't. I mean, I believed in the beginning that would be at best 3,
3.
no
Yeah.
more, just
Okay.
just 3.
I'm not sure if you noticed, but you kind of.
It's definitely a
You all-
space opera. Just look at all those stars.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. It looks like, yeah, you look like somebody likes your stuff.
somebody. Yeah,
Right.
that's.
You did good. Yeah. I like the cover right there. Any long-term plans for the series now that you got all these books out? You just gonna keep writing them, or like something else you got?
Well, the drafts are already there. I think the 2 years ago, the drafts, the total drafts of all of my books and novellas that I have drafts of were about 70.
Wow.
Well, some of
Like
them are
17 or 70?
70.
Oh my god.
Some
Why?
of them are quite short, like
Okay.
the rifle song, like about 100 and something pages.
Yeah.
Some of them
100
are
and something pages is short.
Yeah, that's a short one right there. Yeah, short.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
you read that in a good afternoon. Captivating.
yeah, it's well, yeah, he read it, he knows. But I must say that after
What?
you read book 5, and
That's when it starts getting good.
well, it gets good before that,
Yeah.
but when you read certain things and then you go to, let's say, to the short story anthology,
Uh-huh.
and the one that Wrangler showed, the rifle song, it expands upon everything in much greater detail, because, as you all know, you can stuff shit in one book and
Yeah.
and then like pat your clothes and said, yeah, it's fine. I already I dumped all the shit there. It's like,
Right.
no, I
Cram
have
it all in there and scream, "Long live Space Shire 7."
no. Mm, And one of the best advices I got from another teacher was that when you plan for something like this, like a long series, it has to be like an onion.
Uh-huh.
And each layer should evoke different feelings and pull different strings when you remove it. Uh, you will cry, you will laugh, you will feel for someone, and it's like be interested to see the color of the next layer of the onion, or how like what's will it make me cry, etc., etc. This is not like the modern failed mantra of the mystery box, which we all know that
Yeah.
it's kind of
Stupid mystery.
Doesn't even give you an answer. Like, what the hell?
no, it's empty because it's empty. There is nothing there.
It's technically no. I actually thought of what the mystery box is. It's it's a serialization type of strategy, but trying to fool your audience that it's more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a serialization. It's just another serial. Like, oh yeah,
Just wait till next season. It will be better. Just wait till next
Right.
season.
you gotta
Next
find
book.
out about that smoke monster.
Yeah.
Next
Yeah.
next episode.
Bullshit.
It's always the next, and then when you
Yeah.
finally get the end,
Right.
there's nothing.
Yeah.
And when
You're
you
still
finally
very
get to the end, you get like the
Yeah.
what was the name of the third shitty fake
Lost?
Star Wars movie?
Oh, the third one.
Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, right.
You get horses riding across the spaceships.
Just tilt it over a little bit.
Yeah, like these people, they kind of I'm sure that they
write for
have
themselves.
no plan. They had no plans whatsoever. They didn't know what the fuck were they
Right.
doing, what
like me.
the next movie would be about, and they just skimmed through like the Reddit forums and read the theories of fans, and they said, "Ooh, that's cool. Let's copy this."
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
looks like we
that-
got some interest about the World Without End website.
We do.
Do we?
Sorry,
Okay.
James,
Yes.
you're next.
That's all right. Somebody's got to ask me questions though.
Yeah, but I just had to point that one out there for read
Tensely
out.
inhale.
Yeah. Yeehaw.
That's right.
Read out.
I miss shows like that. The shows like that, like the A Team, you know,
Uh-huh.
stuff that was
yeah.
action but kind of hokey, just fun.
Right.
But
Firefly.
The
Vincent
serials, you know?
Nunez.
Oh, by the way, have you
You
guys
wanted to know-
seen this older sci-fi show called Space Above and Beyond?
I haven't.
Oh yes, that was good.
So good. Well, it's made by fucking Marines. They knew what they were doing,
All right, so it's
And-
got good combat.
Yeah,
and
Space Above
they
and Beyond
touched
was
the
good.
grass. Obviously, they fucking touched the grass. Oh,
Yeah.
it was so good.
That was the least of your concerns. That says a lot. Yep. Yeah, there was a bunch of good series in the. I guess what was that? Was that 90s?
80s, 90s, yeah.
Yeah, that they just had a bunch of random sci-fi shows and stuff, and some of them
And
were-
some fantasy, like I think we had Hercules and Xena back
Oh,
then
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
I think
Yeah.
Carl Urban was in Xena.
The only reason why Xena was a success is, face it, everybody thought she was hot when they were growing up as a teenager.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
I mean,
I just know that's why a lot of my brothers watched it.
Yeah, but the other stuff wasn't bad either. I mean, they had cool stories, interesting fantasy stuff. So, but,
and they put something in those shows that they don't put in them now. Fun.
Yeah,
oh yeah. It was made with heart. It wasn't soulless.
there were a number of shows that I really wondered why exactly they killed off the show, and I
when
was
they kill
thinking,
shows like Firefly, let's say, they do it on fucking purpose. They
yeah,
do it
that was
on
awful.
purpose.
You know,
I just read Readout's comment.
yeah,
Come for the plot and stay for the plot. That'd be nice, right? That's how I try to write my stuff. Right now, I'm experimenting with some with some what's it? Just plotting, different
Uh-huh.
plotting methods.
You've put in some work into your website since last I've been on it.
Thank you. That this is my Substack, but I do have a separate website there.
You gotta have to drop some links again, so I can make more promo posts on my Minds page, because
Uh-huh.
it got bigger. Like, I got more subscribers, maybe like
Yeah.
1,000+ subscribers.
Yeah.
oh wow,
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You can definitely find a lot of my stuff in the chat in Gilded. I always try to post at least a few custom ads every now and then. I'll go ahead and put my freaking Substack in this the private chat.
I did like 2 days ago. I think I did a few posts for that one.
Okay, Herman P. Hunter.
Yeah,
reading his book.
Yeah. I did a
Reading
few
his
posts
book.
for him. I did like boosted the links, and got him like a few thousand views.
See,
Oh, sweet.
that's what I like about the Iron Age. Even though we're all different types of people with different types of creation and goals, unlike everybody else who's gotten so stuck up with their asses, like with Diamond Publishing and everything, we're not afraid to publish or shill each other's work.
Yeah. Help each other out. I'm
Because
And in
definitely.
the end, it helps you out because, for example, I bought James Craig's book. I bought James Craig book, and then guess what? All your guys' books came up in my recommendations on Amazon. The more
Yeah, I
we
guess
buy
it
and
definitely,
support each other, the more it advertises. So even if one person gets their book sold, all of a sudden you got this whole list of everybody else
Yep.
showing up in the recommendations, and I love that.
oh yeah,
Definitely, for sure.
That's one
I know
of
I
the-
wanna eventually get some I'm gonna put advertisements for the different stories in this magazine as well. Dedicate at least one page to advertisement. It's definitely gonna be a community driven project, this magazine. It's both to help introduce people into the world, get them interested, as well as just try to give them a lot of fun, in-depth world stuff in there. There's a lot of in-world, in-universe stuff in this magazine that I'm creating. And yeah, it's a wild ride so far for the world without end. And anybody who has not been introduced to it.
I
Yeah,
like the
well,
picture.
James, I had your YouTube channel linked in the description below. I just added in the link to the Substack.
All right.
So
Thank you.
under your name in the description is both the YouTube channel and the Substack.
Thank you. If you click on this, you can actually see the pages of the magazine in there. I uploaded them separately, so that way
really?
you have a downloadable PDF as well as the pages just plastered there. And this one, I believe, is 21 pages.
Nice.
21 pages.
You have
There's the
definitely
PDF.
been burning the midnight oil.
yeah.
Yes, that's the cover right there, the first story. And I got a short story review by Downward Pulp. That's Lord Otter. He actually has a nice little story review there of one of my stories. If you review any of the stories, and if you leave any comments that I believe are like worthy of sharing with people, things like that, I think readers would like, on any of my social medias, on any of my videos, on any of stuff in my Substack, I'll put them in the magazine. I'll put them there. This is an
Gotcha.
intro page. This is a lovely intro page. Introduce new readers to the universe. What's going on? I got a factions page right after that. And it's just a really, really, really lot of stuff I threw in here. And this is stuff you're going to get every single month for free, guys. This is a free magazine. You don't have to pay for this. This is out. If you do pay, you can give me $5 and you can get it early release. That's what you get. You get an early release for $5 If you want to wait for it for free, that's an advertisement page of the 2 stories I already have out, because I also release on the 15th of every month 1 brand new short story in PDF format, completely formatted to read off of you know, um, a tablet, whatever you'd like there. And the latest one's going to actually much longer, and each story is much more advanced than the last, and they're all involved around this gigantic and unique world that can fit just about every genre you can think of in literature. And now the main struggle, and that's what the magazine's here to try to help mostly, is try to introduce people to the world outside of the story and say, hey, all this is interconnected, and even though they're radically different, they have a lot to do with each other.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
Thank you.
Yep.
This is like page 3.
Don't you have a free teaser that holds its own posted on your Substack?
Teaser. I have a video on YouTube that kind of introduces some stuff, but the first page of this, I think, is a pretty good introductory. But this table of contents right here, if you want to see what's inside of it, you got the major factions in page 4, I believe, which is soon after this. IP update, which is I'm telling you what I'm working on next regarding World Without End. New lore cards, because I like cards. Therefore, I'm introducing you to important characters through cards.
And I love your card shorts, by the way. I'm
Thank
not
you.
a fan of shorts, but those I like. Those are just really
Yeah.
neat.
Thank you. And I'm also introducing factions that way as well. The latest faction is the Red Tie Society, which is an underground faction of do-gooders in a corrupt society that would otherwise take them out because they're not so corrupt. And they're called the Red Tie Society more so because they're not afraid to get a little red on their tie. If they're a bit of a judge, jury, and executioner type. And after that, I got in-world newspapers, because I actually get newspapers written to look like newspapers that have to do with in-world events or have to do with upcoming stories, previous stories, and really introduce you to the sci-fi portion of this world, which is this gigantic cityscape of all these small towns that bloomed into gigantic cities and are just too crammed together. After that, historical in-world poetry, because one of the factions in this world records history through poetry, and I'm going to give you and explore their history through their poetry. You're going to get 2 very complex poems every single month that are going to span across 2 pages. Then the March short story title and cover reveal, because as I said, I have a short story release on the 15th of every month. This release is on the 1st for free of every month, and I am going to do the title and cover reveal for my upcoming short story in the magazine. So if you like this short story, if you like the short stories I produce in the cover art, you're going to get them in this magazine 15 days beforehand. Then I have a bonus short story on page 16 that spans about 3 pages or 2.5 pages. I like that one. It's not perfect, but I'm very proud. If you like music, you're going to love that one. The Rooster's Crow short story review by Downward Pulp, which is our Lord Otter. He's our fellow Iron Ager. He did me a favor and reviewed my short story, so I took a portion of that and I put it in here, and you can actually go check out his stuff because his website, I linked all his stuff in here as well, so you can go read the review, and then you learn more about World Without End. That's essentially the last page that just got the final things where you can contact me for. Gives you a little bit more information on the factions, but it's mainly just the contact page and let people know if you want to get yourself in the magazine by leaving a comment and stuff, because I do want to have like a fans page. This is the major factions page I was talking about. If you want to know the 4 major factions in the world, this page is dedicated to them. All 4 major factions. So we could go through this entire thing, but it'll take up the entire stream, guys. So go get yourself a free copy every single month. Don't be crazy. Don't be foolish. All right. You don't get this stuff for free anywhere else other than here. All right. I'm insane. Somebody locked me up because
you're
like,
quite sane in the main brain, my friend.
Right? And if you like it,
Quite.
inspire me by giving me $5 a month too. You get it early before anybody else does. And you can talk about it and shove it in their face. Say, look what I got before you.
So did you design the maps and everything too? Or did you have somebody else do that?
the maps, this map I had drawn out. All the other maps I designed myself, which most people can't see except for on the website, which I'm going to take a lot of that website stuff and bring it over into the magazine as well. But a lot of stuff is on the website if you're really intrigued by this, and that's worldwithoutendlore.com. I made the website by hand. I written everything. All the art is on there. Lots of maps, lots of region information, lots of character bios. It's 30 plus pages of website lore, and a lot more to come, mind you.
That's exciting.
And I do it all
definitely
by
been putting
myself.
work.
Nobody's helping me out with any of this. But I've got 10 years of graphic design experience underneath my belt, so I'm heavily leaning into that. If you want to help me out, reach out. I'm sure I could use help with something. No, it's this. What do we got in front of us?
That is Black Knight Substack.
What do you post on your Substack, Black Knight?
I decided to make the Substack page populated with unique stories which are not posted anywhere else. And the Spacer Way was another story which was submitted for a competition. And it didn't make the cut.
You don't share that part of the story. You can leave that out.
Yeah, it's.
Well, I could tell you right now why. I see it in this last sentence.
Why? Was he not
like
racist
it's Trail
enough?
of Tears?
What did it say? I can't see it. Oh, is it just this small here? I'm not reading them. Okay,
Like
yeah,
a Trail
like
of Tears. Oh, that
it's dark.
sets off algorithms.
Yep, because the Trail of Tears is known as a massacre in the U.S.
I don't care.
I know you don't care, but that's why. But that's how.
It's a generic name for a trail, to be honest.
That's how idiotic some people are. They can't realize the imagery.
Yeah,
This is a different imagery.
They can sort of.
It's like a trail of falling waters from your eye.
It's I will keep it free, my Substack, and I will not only post all of these shorts there, which are unique, and then they are never they were never intended to be published in this format. But I also started like another series which will be only for my Substack, which is the Handyman series. It's of course set in my universe. The Handyman is a Japanese character who is one of these, people who are not like super engineers, but they can take apart almost everything and fix it. And he travels across the Japanese countryside post 1969 invasion, while still most of the planet is still in ruins, and they the local communities need every help they can get, and it's going to be mostly wholesome. I don't plan. I mean, I wrote like a bunch of drafts already for episodes, and it's, you'll see. I am using a whole lot of the research I did for Japan and the things that I modified for the alternate history Japan that I couldn't use in the books, and I'm using it there because it's good research. I already did it, and it's why go to waste.
Yeah, for sure.
And the Spacer Away, by the way, this one is about one of the characters in the books, Vasilisa, and this is an episode from her childhood.
Okay.
And these Spacers, oh boy, I shouldn't talk because I should stop because otherwise, like James said, it's going to be
Yeah.
stream. It's like,
Well,
no.
You guys have created such elaborate IPs. I love it. I
Yeah.
feel very underaccomplished.
That's what we
that's
white
what's called getting
supremacists
started.
and Nazis do. Like we are so evil in our evilness, we create this stuff, these racist things.
Oh boy.
Well, I like Readout Productions' comment about Black Knight and James are over here developing fantastical new worlds while mainstream media gives us Fat April O'Neil and the Lost They Them.
Oh boy.
Once again, another ginger has fallen by the wayside.
What do you mean, Fat April O'Neil?
So
you don't know.
you've not seen the new stuff.
You don't want to know.
The Lost Day comes from Peter Pan and the Lost Boys.
Hold on. How are they going to have a Fat April O'Neil when she wears that yellow one-piece jumper? That won't look right.
Should we pull up the trailer, Raven?
Probably, because there's other disappointing surprises as well.
If it's made by
Fat April
Disney,
O'Neil.
they will.
The problem is, I don't know. Will he get copyright striked if we show that?
Probably, most
probably.
Oh, that may be. So maybe not necessarily play the entire trailer, but kind of like click through it.
Or I could keep it on mute and we could see the visuals.
Yeah.
Oh, well, hang on a second. I think I'm starting to know what you're talking about. I'm going to pop this one up here. Yeah, so I go to YouTube to find that, and what's the first thing I see in my feed?
Nice.
Yeah, this is sad. Very startled-looking Leonardo, and yeah, I see what you're saying there.
Yep.
All right, search.
Sad, but
TMNT. Oh, I am on the.
No.
What did I just do?
This is the weird.
I ended up on another window by accident. I don't know how that happened.
Oh, Maji-chan is back.
What?
I think she accidentally kicked herself out.
How? Okay.
Simple. I'm
This is-
talented.
You did.
Aren't we all?
I'm gonna have to kick that
What
over
did you
for a
do? You
second.
did like Shirumawashi Giri and kick yourself in the.
Well, I forgot to open up a second window.
Yeah.
Here, I got the link here for you
Oh boy.
to the actual teaser. Hold on. Oh shoot. Pause. Hi, Scream. I can't find the pause button because YouTube's being stupid. I didn't want you to get flagged for freaking audio again. I felt bad last time, man. But it was such
It
an
happens.
important audio that had to be remembered.
Yeah, well, thankfully, it was just because they played the Marvel Studios fanfare at the beginning of the interview. All they had to do was clip out that little fanfare piece, and they were okay with the entire interview that we observed.
I posted it on our private chat. But I was afraid I got it clipped because I know Disney's been intentionally removing that clip from Stan Lee because it doesn't fit their agenda. I'm like, oh shoot, I just got him freaking banned. Damn it.
Yeah, that's it.
I bet you
No,
if you skip the music at the beginning, the little 20 seconds and actually zoom into all the characters, you should be fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, for the time being, it's just muted. Can I
no,
zoom? I can't zoom on this page. It won't let me.
no.
Mr.
This is-
Hanky. Oh no, that's not Mr. Hanky. What the?
The newest Ninja Turtle movie.
Why
Done
does
by the same guy that does
Splinter-
Robot Chicken and Sausage Party.
No, it's ugly.
So who did the last Teenage Mutant Ninja
Uh,
Turtles movie?
It's so fucking bad.
Uh,
At least they're still turtles, I guess.
No. They will.
Did
make
you see
something.
Splinter? Rewind it.
A Splinter had an afro.
yeah,
Rewind it.
that reminded me of Afro
Get ready,
Samurai.
pause. Go a
Uh,
little bit further.
Yeah.
no,
Oh, brother.
no. Everything is so
Why?
ugly.
He has a rodent mullet.
Yes.
Uh,
But that's not even the worst part. Go towards the end.
I don't want to. I'm scared.
You should be.
Yeah, why does a rat need an afro?
Yeah, because someone thought that they could check a box and make an anthropomorphized rodent of another race.
Well, I do believe he's supposed to be Japanese.
That is April O'Neil.
No,
No,
that's
That's
not.
April.
they hate the Japanese. No, it can't be.
It's clay fakemation.
Yeah.
Fake claymation.
It's
Yeah,
shit
but
making.
that
We call
chick
it
at the
shit
end is
making.
April O'Neil.
Yeah, this actually reminds me of the time that I decided to take World Without End
Ew!
seriously.
No.
Yes.
Ugh.
I actually had that.
Yes,
fucking
don't
button
you
pushed
dare
this
look
far,
away,
couldn't talk.
damn you.
Uh,
Now, one moment I decided to take World Without End seriously was could be something similar to that terrible Iron Man 2. Have you ever seen it? When the villain just is watching television and he sees Tony Stark on the screen, he's like, hey, I'm related to a guy that made that for real, just stealing all his publicity. And then he goes and makes it himself. It was basically like that.
Are
Just
you talking
replace
about
that.
Mickey Rourke's character?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
dude.
was the Mickey Rourke. And
That movie had like the worst fucking final
I'm
battle.
just using it as an analogy. I was the Mickey Rourke in that situation, and what I was watching was a trailer for the now defunct Lord of the Rings show.
I would take Iron Man 2 over Rings of Power any day,
Oh,
and I
God.
couldn't stand Iron Man 2.
Mickey
I
Rourke.
like the suitcase outfit thing.
Yeah,
that
that
was
was kind
pretty
of cool.
clever. That's why it was in the trailers.
Believe it or not, I actually liked Iron Man 3.
I couldn't bring myself to watch it after Iron Man 2.
It had a
No, wait,
moment
no,
here or there.
because they fucked up the Mandarin.
That w-
Yeah, that I
Yeah, I
agree.
didn't like
I agree
that.
with you on that. But no, I like that. At first, I was pissed. I'm like, how come I came to see Iron Man? And most of the time, he's not in the suit at all. But I ended up appreciating it, like that. They kind of dug into him a little bit more.
But then they got rid of all that character development in Age of Ultron.
I fucking
Well,
hate
they're good at
the
that.
second
Oh.
Avengers movie.
Yeah, they shouldn't have ended the movie by blowing up all the Iron Man suits. We all knew they were going to come
Yeah.
back.
Fucking Voltron. By the way, what actually comes before Voltron? Voltron is a sanitized version of much bloodier, gorier anime.
Yeah, I liked Voltron growing up, and I did not realize that it was like a merging of two different animes together in order to get all the episodes.
Yeah, that's. I watched. I mean, I found it. I found it on some of these like streaming sites, and I watched most of the episodes of Beast King Gorion, and surprisingly, a lot of the characters die.
Yeah, I remember like the vehicle ones the most, and then I remember like barely remember the ones with the lion ones. But yeah, I was a little kid watching it. Whenever I watched it, it was really cool just because it had things that
It was. It was.
vehicles that did things and they joined together and they had big lasers and stuff.
Which
And,
technically Voltron was a combination of Power Rangers and Transformers.
Voltron was around before Power Rangers.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna get Trans Rangers.
I know.
And that other show, the other anime which they adapted was the Star Sheriffs, I think. Saber Rider and the Star Sheriffs.
Yeah, I don't
The
remember
original
which two.
anime was much better. They
Yeah.
kind of twisted the story and screwed everything up. And they, I mean, that anime had one of the best, cool looking. I mean, not spaceship, real spaceship, but cool fucking looking spaceship ever. And as a kid, when I watched it, because we had like, I think we had it smuggled on VHS here, in the like the latest stages of the not real communism, just after the shit. And I watched some episode, and I kind of rewatched it.
You know what, Readout? If the Mario movie ends up being woke, I think I will be forever shattered by Hollywood.
Mario is gonna do it for
No
you.
kidding.
I don't know if it will. I'm praying it doesn't. But if
don't
it
think they
ends up
will.
being a woke
Nintendo
disaster,
seems to
gonna
like
be
to stay out of the political crap and just do their thing, thankfully.
Yeah, Nintendo.
Here's hoping they hold the course.
They
Nintendo-
hired
Yes, I
Nintendo.
know they're
T20.
not. They dip in here and there. I know they hired Brie Larson for a commercial, but
multiple
they didn't.
commercials, not just one commercial.
But
Nintendo
but they
did?
didn't go on
Yes.
some kind of freaking vendor that I saw going on about it. All I saw was her sitting there talking about how cool Metroid is.
I think I'm just going to sit around and wait until somebody else says, somebody that I trust,
Yeah.
says
And it
how
doesn't suck.
yeah.
Nintendo guards their IP jealously, so they're not. They get very finicky on things, and I don't think they're going to change that too much for the identity politics of another country. So
Well,
they
not only
like their
that,
IP the
but-
way it is.
Uh,
Although they
it-
do bend a little bit, because I hate to say it, if you look at Smash Bros. In the later games as opposed to the earlier games, they shrank Samus's boobs. I can't believe they did that. That's sacrilege right there.
Oh, brother.
Well, it's kind of like
I have
it's kinda like
priorities.
the difference between Horizon Zero Dawn and Horizon Forbidden West. They took this very sleek, awesome Aloy and turned her into it looks like a fat, chubby guy.
Yeah.
She was ugly in the first game as well.
But she still was badass, and you could tell she was a female.
Yeah, they're
Barely.
they're trying to genericize everybody to the point where everybody's going to be generically a copy of everybody else. And it's
Yes,
disgusting.
exactly. Identity politics' end game, I think, is to destroy everybody's identity and make us all the same. Everybody, this
Frequency?
androgynous stub.
They're wanting us to be that one species from TNG. The one when you get to a
Resistance is
certain age
futile.
and then they rid all your gender. They force their citizens to do it.
I'm not too hearing that.
I remember that
All
one.
I could think of is Bordis in the Orville right now.
Okay, so remember in STD when they were trying to say they had the first non-binary species or whatever character?
Oh, the fucking STD. Like,
yeah.
oh.
And then literally everyone was like,
Oh.
no, what? And there was a character in TNG, this entire race that literally has no gender.
But
And then in Enterprise, they had a
don't
species with
watch
3
that.
genders.
they don't fucking watch them. They don't know the lore because they don't give a shit. And they always say, "Oh, we're the first who did this and who did that," and blah blah blah. Like, look at this. No,
Well, I
you
mean, they were
didn't.
trying to say they had the first female black captain, even though I think I
Uh-huh.
remember in TNG, but I know DS9 Cisco has a romance with one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even before that, there are.
Technically, in the 90s, made Godzilla asexual, so, you know. But he's a
Wasn't that
reptile,
just
it
the
makes
Matthew
sense.
Broderick movie where it was a mutant lizard rather than
Oh, she's talking about the
Zilla.
American one, the fucking
Yeah,
one where
yeah.
it was shitting eggs everywhere.
yeah.
Oh, brother.
The only character I cared about in there was the French spy because he loved his coffee and I appreciate that.
Yeah, he also liked to do Elvis Presley impersonation.
Oh yeah, there's that too.
You know, one thing that I've been thinking about since Black Knight brought up the fact that he's got like a whole lot more people showing up. I'm wondering how much of that has been some of us screaming and yelling on various different channels about A Drink with You Crazy.
Uh-huh.
The hilarious thing was that I did not even. I don't know if Jay was looking into it before or not, but Tuesday night's main event, I was just doing normal chat stuff. So people that say that they do not read the chat, they're wrong. They do read the chat. They were advertising Jay's Drunk 3PO's new book, and I just typed into the normal chat, "Hey, I already got a copy of that or whatever," and he immediately responded to me saying, "Oh, cool, that's nifty." And then later on, I figured, well, since he actually bothered to read that, I'm just going to add J him and or add Drunk 3PO, and because one of the ongoing jokes is he can get anybody on Friday Night Tights except for himself. And so I just joked with him and I said, "Hey, any chance that you can get Drink with Crazy on Friday Night Tights?" He's like,
And
"Well, I'll look into that."
I've slipped
That'd
little
be funny.
mini, hey, you should check out Black Knight's books on Doomcock's chats when they're talking about shitty Star Wars.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
It's like
Doomcock.
Star Wars, but not
I
shit.
I think I was one of his first subscribers when he had like 20 subscribers or something.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
You should really lean into that.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
don't.
do it.
Actually, a little off to the side, but isn't it fun to like channels that you used to follow from the beginning to see how big they are now? Isn't that cool? Like,
Yeah,
I-
it's fun. It's
I
fun. The
st-
problem is that they there are some guys and gals who just grew. They kind of outgrew their first fans. They don't remember them.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of sad.
yeah.
I would like to see Royce above 2,000. Shoot, when I joined, he only had 70. But
Yeah. Well, I told them back late last year, it's like enjoy this while you can because your channel is going to reach a point where you can't just sit there and have conversations with the chat anymore. It's just going to keep flying by and
I kind of hope with his channel, I know he wants it to be a big success, that it goes slowly so he doesn't have to deal with the sudden growing pains.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Because I've seen a lot of YouTubers like just crack and break when they have those sudden spikes in popularity.
I'm famous, rich for a second. Oh my god.
Well, not even that. It's they don't know how to do their channel anymore.
Really?
They
Yeah.
get
Uploading same
confused.
shit.
They get confused. Yeah.
Now, there's something I have in common with them. I don't know how to do my channel either.
By the way, I had like at one point I had a lot of reviews on my first book, which got deleted. And sometimes also like Amazon deletes
Uh-huh.
questionable reviews. You know, we'll just leave it like that. But I lost, like, over the years, I lost, I think, about 70 total.
Yeah, I saw a
Maybe
video. I saw a video discussing multiple various different reasons for why people could be losing reviews on Amazon, and one of them is that there's been people that get paid to leave paid reviews in certain places and stuff, and they don't like that on Amazon. And so one of the things that they've done is if they find out that you've been paid for reviews, they end up removing that account, and that account may have actually left
A real review. Yeah.
real review, and that's annoying.
And also the other thing that the hit reviews, that there are other authors who pay certain reviewers to leave hit reviews, and I was like, yeah, that's possible. Like I can see that happening. I mean, there are also all sorts of like people. You can't have
Yeah.
like normal people like us who are like, okay, so you didn't like this, you didn't like everything in that book. Yeah, that's normal. Like you can't have every single person liking every single thing. It's impossible. People are different.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but when you see like, I mean, I've seen a few, and they look like someone has used like a certain number of guidelines to write like this quote unquote critical review, which is like, oh, there is not enough diversity. Oh, no strong female protagonist. Oh, no, whatever, like alphabet thing, or no representation of this group, and no that, and like this is like, oh, I think I see some racismus over there, and I see something else, blah blah blah, some nebulous bullshit, and here you go. That's a review. Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a vicious industry.
The annoying place we've gotten to.
Speaking of vicious, knee slapping, jokester industry. How vicious can I be, guys?
I don't know. Depends what you write and who reads it.
Is that asking where the line is, or you're wondering how far you can actually go?
Well, okay, so Wrangler, in his wonderful stupor mode, decided to challenge me one night on live stream to write The Legend of Shalar.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So,
you will write it. And you will have fun writing it.
well, what I was thinking was, would anybody be offended if there was a slight likeness to their personality and or name or characters in the book, just as kind of a spoof? It's not really a book. It's just the lore of the channel being stupid.
What's introduce me to the Legends of Shalar.
I'm still working on the finer point.
She wants to base her characters on us.
Yeah. So basically, what who first dropped that? Was it Kikuman?
It was
I
Kikuman.
think so.
Yeah, I think it was.
Oh, trust me, there will be a sauced maker in.
Oh, make him make a white sauce. A white.
No. I'm thinking he's gonna be I'm thinking he's gonna be a sauced brewer. Like a sake brewer or something.
Legends of Shalar. All right.
Yeah, I was
Legends of Shalara.
I was wanting to either write a poem or a short story or something for the Iron Age media stuff, and like have at some point where they pick up a book and the title is Legends of Shalar.
Oh, good. James Crater. I
What's
guess.
up, James? How you
Nah.
doing?
Y'all
I'm-
missed his third
everything's
nipple
good.
on Sunday, so
His third what?
his third nipple. It cuts
Well,
through
yeah,
ice.
I kind of passed out during the middle of Sunday coffee. So
Yeah.
He showed it off. Y'all missed it.
wait, James, are you writing it? Because if you're writing it, then I don't have to. You're better at it.
Maybe there should be multiple legends of Shalara.
Yeah.
Maybe
Gotta
when I
have
should
that.
write one.
Or maybe we just go around mentioning it in various different.
The
Yeah.
Shalar anthology.
Closet anthology. Oh my gosh. Anybody coming in would be. I am not writing.
Yeah, the denominations. Or
Why not,
the
James? Just
denominations.
write like a little page.
Yeah, well, he has
Everyone
plans.
do it. We'll all do
He
it.
has plans.
Well,
I
just
kind of set
refer to
aside
it.
some time to write like different things because I
up.
want to experiment and
How about
do
you
stuff.
write it, Billy Bob? You
Have
write
a side
Legends of
mention
Hey,
in
Shalar.
we
in
all write like at
conversation
least
or
a
something.
page, and then we send it to fucking Royce to make him read it on the stream.
Well, actually, we do that stupid. What's that chain letter exercise where somebody writes a paragraph, hands it off, next
yeah.
person
I
keep
did
writing
that
or
in
sending it
school,
around till we
yeah.
get some big heap and mess, and then we send it to Royce.
Yeah,
All right, let's do it. I'm not.
I
I'm
did
not
it in
bullshitting.
school, and it ended with a massive fight.
Actually, I
Massive
know how to
fight.
end it perfectly. That's the
It just
best
ends
part.
with the words. It ends with a massive fight.
Or you could.
Or the YouTube outage.
Or you could do it like the 10 Commandments of Shalar. Each one of us writes one of the commandments.
I figured people would just write different books, poems, or whatever, and then just like mention the Legend of Shalar in like a side conversation or something.
Yeah,
It's just a
have
thing
you
in
heard
every
about the
universe.
Legend of Shalar?
Who starts
Yeah.
the chain? Frequency, you want to
Don't know
start it?
yet. I don't know. Don't make me do stuff. I'm here to be lazy.
Listen, you just gotta write.
You can do them lazy.
Listen, all it's gotta be is
Lazier.
4 sentences.
You just, I don't know.
Oh, imagine if one of your assholes start a conversation in it. I think of one.
Mm. I have to drop
I got
soon
too much on my
and
plate.
get
to
some
chill
sleep
on.
because it's close to 5 in the morning.
Yeah, you're a trooper
Yeah.
tonight, man. I know this is normally way past your sleep cycle.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, someone I forgot who he was or she was. Way back when I had like my second Starship book up, and I had like a bunch of problems, health problems and shit. But that person was complaining that I think that was one of the people whose review got removed by Amazon. But one of the complaints was that you kind of like the author mentioned this like dark religion, like about holy darkness and stuff and different denominations, and like I'm sure that it will never be mentioned again. And I was reading it and I was with a friend who had already like he read like some of the drafts for the next books, and we just like instantly looked at one another and we kind of boy it's like we have an entire legend quote unquote written about this. Come on. just like Legends of Shalar. In the different denominations of that faith, maybe.
Yeah, so we got some more work in front of us here, do we? The Undying Emperor. That seems familiar.
Yes. However, I was looking through the chat here, and where was
Sitting
it?
on the floor.
Oops. You see this? Raven said Infinite Money Glitch should be showing up for me March 10 through 17.
Might
And
be
then
showing up
all of
any
a
day now.
sudden, I just saw something that really, really made my night. Hope you enjoy it. I'll try to release a sequel in 2024. James, I've been wondering if you were going to do a follow up to that or not.
Which
now
one?
I know. Infinite Money Glitch.
Oh, all right, yeah. All
And
right.
that is my favorite book right now. It's like the one I consider the most fun to read. And I'm like, this is right up my alley. The whole in the game system stuff like that. I love that stuff. And then he did that, and I'm like, this was a blast. I didn't expect to see a sequel coming out. So awesome.
Yeah.
Ooh, he's got the title to his new one.
Oh, nice.
I can't wait. My copy should be showing up either tomorrow or Wednesday.
Right on. The
Yes.
Wizard Stone.
He's
the
listening to it
Wizard
right
Stone.
now.
Yeah.
That's good. That's very good.
That one is very good audio format, and I'm getting 2 short stories of my own in audio. So people can, check those out on my YouTube channel soon. Raven Nevermore, sir.
Yep.
We've been looking at everyone's work, and I have not seen yours yet. What have you been working on lately?
Oh, I've got a book that I've been working on, but I'm so busy with, I have a full-time job. I've got kid running around, other stuff. And so it's slow writing right now.
Right on. What's your book about?
Quite understandable.
I'm sorry, what was it, James?
What's your book about?
Oh, okay. So, way back in the 90s, I was part, and I guess early 2000s, I was part of a gaming group, and we played around. We had a bunch of fun with a bunch of characters and stuff, and the campaign went on for a long period of time. And the first book that I'm working on kind of goes into the background of the character, because I had to write a short blurb. I had some stuff, and I've been thinking through, and I'm just like, I could just write a whole book on this. And since the character lasted so long, I figured may as well increase, actually flesh it out and fill it out and stuff. There are some differences, both in my character's background and in the various other characters that are going to be there, partly because I don't remember, it's been so long, I don't remember the character names. I only remember certain parts of the game and stuff. I do know how the game went and certain things from that. And so, but those will probably be future books.
Right on. You know what? I was talking to some guys yesterday where I'm doing something similar, slightly similar, where I'm taking all these RPG moments I had and slowly bleeding them into some of my stories. Some of them are quite comical.
Cool.
Ooh.
But in going through,
Go for it.
in going through some of the old notepads and stuff, I came across notes I had on a campaign that I ran for a bunch of people. And I've found some map drawings and stuff that I've been using for some stuff. And one of the other things that's been taking a while is I want to, since the campaign that I was talking about took place in like an official D&D campaign, and I want to move it out of that and into my own world. That's been another thing I've kind of been working on, trying to figure out, if I time this at this point, then that thing works correctly and stuff. And so that should have some interesting conflicts.
Oh, all right. Nice. So you're also a DM, are you? You must have a bunch of campaigns already written out, spread out all over it.
I did some, but not a whole lot. When I worked at CompUSA, I had a lot more time on my hands and was able to better mesh time with other people.
All right, right on. Well, that sounds fun as heck, man. I can't wait to see what you produce.
Yeah, I've already got like portions of the first and second chapter, I think, up, but I'm having to go through and rewrite some of that stuff just to make sure that it fits into the world that I'm moving it into. And then
You
I
got a
also have,
homebrew world?
yep, and then I also have a later chapter that was up, and that definitely took part in Greyhawk, and I've been trying to figure out where exactly that goes into my homebrew campaign setting, and I think I figured out exactly where I want to put that. As there's a massive war brewing further down the line, and I think I can time stuff up because one of the annoying things with that campaign was there was a couple in that group, and it the campaign broke up whenever they had issues,
Ah, okay, yeah, some drama.
and so I was.
RP horror stories.
Yeah, and so one of the things that I'm with that, I've figured out a way that I can kind of work that issue as well into the uh, campaign problems that are going on. So like the overarching what's going on in the world ends up affecting this stuff
Hmm.
instead of having to figure out why exactly did this not end the way it should have. So real life dramas torn apart by campaign world situations, I think should make it work.
Sounds like it would work.
Oh, it definitely will. I mean, you know that I created, like, while I was writing the drafts for my Star Shattered universe, I used parts of it and built like D&D campaigns um, while I was writing the books, and this helped me tremendously to flesh things like a whole
Oh
a
yeah.
whole lot of things. For example, I'll just
Hmm.
drop that and then go to sleep. So the colony of Apple Crate, the entire colony of Apple Crate, everything inside, everything. The people there, the even the blind fish. It was created for the books, but because so many players wanted to go there, I I kept polishing it, I kept fleshing it, and I kept making it even livelier and livelier. And so, if I can say that doing a parallel thing with the tabletops and such is of excellent help for
Uh-huh.
any storyteller.
Oh yeah.
Helps. It helps a lot.
Definitely. I'm lucky enough that stories usually just pop into my head randomly throughout the day, so that's fun and sometimes not so fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely gonna pull a lot of stuff from external. Well, I think everybody pulls um from external stuff outside of themselves, but to pull from basically your own other portions of your own world that people are kind of sandboxing in is a pretty unique element. I like that.
Hmm.
Sometimes I know what you mean on that one, readout.
Yeah, that's how
Yep.
that's how World Without End came to be, is a million different stories running through my head and I needed a singular world to put them all in. Now I got that. And now it's producing all those stories and getting them out there so other people can enjoy them and seeing where it goes.
Too much awesome in one spot.
Mhm. Yep. So, guys and gals, I
Hmm.
will I will
Right?
leave you.
Yep.
You
I'm
mean it
going-
this time?
I'm going to sleep.
I think he's falling asleep now on
Right.
Mike.
Yeah.
He was just snoring on us.
I am.
Well,
I
Black
am.
Knight, you were a real trooper. I know it's
Yeah.
very late for you.
Yeah,
Thank
dog.
you for coming on
Get
tonight.
some
It's
rest.
good to have you.
Yeah. Thank you. Good night.
Oh, night.
Good night, sir.
You have fun.
Good night. Good night.
Yes, sir. It's always good to be surrounded by like-minded creators to glean from.
And then you have Billy Bob Sack and I sitting down listening to all you guys going, well, that cool.
Well, I'm sure you're both at it in your own ways. Billy's got his world he's fleshing out, and you're starting to. Seems like you're getting closer to the pen.
Me?
Hey,
Maji-chan.
I do little things here and there.
Yeah. Well, start when you're young. That's what I say.
it's in the chat for you, Frequency.
Shalar in the Battle of the Algorithm.
The algorithm.
I've been fucking like posting names to fucking.
Yeah, he's just brainstorming them at me in the private chat. And I'm over here trying not to laugh.
Yeah, go right.
Then I'm like,
silly
oh,
little-
post that one in the chat. That's funny.
You
Oh,
should, Billy
trust
Bob.
me,
You
I
should.
got this whole friggin' adventure going on in my head. I forgot the brainstorm and all that. I just need a couple people's permissions. Then that way,
the
they show up in this,
Shilarians.
this parody. It's if they don't feel offended or
Maji-chan,
anything.
I'm willing to work with you. I've
Right.
already come up with title names. Here, let me go.
See, Billy, what you need to
I
do
have-
is
Yeah,
Hold up. I have
just
Shlar
just
in the
copy
search
and
for the
paste them
manospheres.
from yeah.
Well, Wrangler knows how it's gonna end, and he approved.
See, Billy, what I think
Shlar and
that you should do, or what you should be good at, is writing short parodies of random bullshit. I think you'd come up with some great short action adventure parody.
Well, see, that's my problem. Is like you guys know, most of my writing was script and character development. So actual storytelling is where I kind of fall short. I can
I
make
got
you
a
fall in
pretty
love
good
with a
book for
character in
you.
about 5 seconds, but can I write an awesome story? Maybe not.
There's a science behind it. You can learn it.
It just requires more planning, Maji, and making sure that you're keeping up with what you need to be putting in the chapters.
If that
And
doesn't
also,
work, just include aliens and explosions.
No.
Aliens explode.
True culture.
Yeah.
And just remember, pretty much every writer thinks they're the worst one in the room. I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm sure there's plenty of a-holes out there that think they're the best of the best.
Well, so that Reflections one I wrote for the Iron Age media prompt,
Yeah.
that actually took me a good solid 24 hours to get down, and even then I had to hire.
That was very dense for a short story.
But
There was a lot
and
in there.
then Black Knight's like, oh, I wrote another 5,000 pages. What? You know how long it took me to write 5 paragraphs? Damn it!
Oh, he already pumped out like 17 books, so
Oh, I
he's
know.
pretty good at
Yeah.
it,
Yeah,
I know. I
he's
just
a
like
little
giving
more
him a hard
practiced.
time.
right?
Maji, this morning when I woke up, I stood in front of my computer. It took me an hour to write a paragraph.
See,
It happens. So,
Everybody moves at their own pace. Some faster than others. Some more disciplined.
I mean,
than others.
granted, there are days I sat down and cranked out a whole chapter, and it seemed almost effortless. It was one of those. It was flowing through me. I was excited to be at the keyboard. I'm like, yeah, but I learned a very important lesson. Those moments, they never last. Okay,
Yeah.
that only get you maybe 2-3 chapters before you hit that and you start slogging and trying to grind those details out of your brain again and just kind of banging your head against the keyboard and clawing your eyebrows out because you love this. Oh wait, where was I going at? No, but I mean it gets to be a real slug at some points, but it eventually the slog does break open and then things start flowing again.
Yeah, I think that's why I like the Iron Age media prompts, because they're short, they're sweet. You can develop an entire scenario and then move on to a totally different subject. I know Billy Bob doesn't like it because he wants a full meaty story, but
with Leviathans.
Well, my next story to be released is quite meaty, and of course it's free. That one's going to be roughly 50-ish pages.
Oh
Mhm.
wow!
Yes, I believe it's around 12,000 words.
Maji,
Hmm.
all I've asked for is part 2 to the story, okay? It's not like I'm asking 20 stories about that.
No, part 2 is actually in development. I got King Bob editing the first part of the robot story, the gamble, and then
King
second one
Bob.
I put on hold because I wanted to do the reflections. So the second one, that and the first time it was written, it just sounded very Hollywood fake convenience for. I didn't like it.
Uh-huh.
Man,
I
that's
wanted it to feel like a natural relationship developing. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I want it
Yeah.
to be organic. Want to have an
Exactly, that's the
organic
word I'm
vibe.
looking for.
Yep.
I didn't want to sound like I was a freaking AI bot putting together a story just to put together a story.
Oh man, that reminds me of a video I saw the other day, and this young lady is trying to talk about. She sees that there's problems in the dating scene these days, but she can't figure out the words to say. And I think part of it is just because they've been decreasing the amount of vocabulary that they have kids learn, and kids don't want to read books, and so therefore, and because they're using easy vocabulary in movies and stuff today, it doesn't test anybody's vocabulary limits. And
Not to mention definitions of words have been they've been changing them on us bit by bit to the point where one word could have completely different meanings to if you're if you're like Gen X millennial, it can mean one thing to you. If you're Gen Z, it can mean something completely different.
yeah, but it's horrifying for multiple different reasons. But she's sitting there. It's like and she finally was able to state something about what was it? When you're in the talking about things stage, and I was like, what does that even mean? And then I found out that means like you're sleeping around and talking about whether you're actually dating or not. And I was just like, what?
Have a great night, James.
Yeah, night,
Yep,
James.
have a good
Thanks for
night.
stopping by to our BS.
But yeah, there's times where like you know the word, but you can't come up with it, and then there's other times where your vocabulary is just very limited, and it was horrifying to see the fact that her vocabulary was so limited.
Well, that's kind of like that's one of the things I like about reading books that are translated into English, or like Black Knight's book and stuff. They use a lot of formal English words that you don't see anymore.
Yeah, or reading old books. That's another thing. Like reading J.R.R. Tolkien is great. Same with the C.S. Lewis books, and the Robert E. Howard and Fritz Lieber. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Lieber. He wrote the Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser books. Almost everybody remembers Robert E. Howard because of Conan, but he's also written lots of other stories.
Oh yeah. He was a big pulp writer back in the day. I actually love the old pulps because I like radio theater, and a lot of them had been transcribed to radio.
Oh yeah,
I listened to a lot of the old ones. Like when I went to go consume pulps, I'm like, oh, I know this character. I remember this episode.
that is one of the things I absolutely loved about Fallout 3. Was it, or was it 4? Whenever they had the radio story, like the goodness, I don't even remember what the name of the character was, but it was like somebody in the shadows or something. And one of the stations played his old recordings of the radio show.
Oh yeah,
it was well done. And then what it did was because he would dress up in the costume, as he read the story or whatever over the radio. And at some point he gets robbed or something, and his stuff is stolen. And so as part of the adventure, you can go and find his stuff, and you can get the cape and the hat and the gun or whatever.
Yeah, I played another game that actually introduced me to old time radio because it was part of a massive multiplayer quest that had a lot of old time radio recordings of horror shows. But Herman P. Hunter is in the chat.
Hey,
Herman Conan Hunter. The
Hey,
Conan Hunter.
Herman.
Oh my god. Oh my god. It is her, they / them.
That was so last year.
Oh, I thought that was the last stream. My bad.
Man is such a charged word.
A lot of evil things happen because of man.
Oh, jeez. Don't go
How
there.
you doing, Herman?
oh, pretty
think I'm
good.
I'm
Still
liking your
selling
book
books.
so far.
Thank
Hey,
you.
nice. What you sell lately?
Let's see. I sold 3 today.
Nice.
I bought one of those, The Revenant in the Tomb. It's supposed to show up. I think that's one of the ones that's on the 10 to 17th. Yep.
I
Yeah.
actually wanted to ask you: is the Revenant in the Tomb a completely different story from your other book, or are they tied
Yeah.
together?
Yeah, the forward of the Wizard Stone kind of discusses it. It
Okay.
Yeah,
I
that's right.
I originally started writing the Wizard Stone before the Revenant in the Tomb, and I was going to try and shop this around at a normal publisher. And at one point I decided there's no way I'm going to get a traditional publisher to publish me. And there's lots of reasons for it. I won't go into it, but so I started writing the standalone that I was going to try and shop around. Then I decided, no, I'll just self-pub. And I didn't want to give away the Wizard Stone. I thought it would have been too much of a giveaway, so I wanted to do something like a novella. Thought a short story wasn't big enough, so I figured I'll do a novella. And so that's how the Revenant in the Tomb came about, because I was going to give that away as sort of like a loss leader for the Wizard Stone. And I tried giving it away, and nobody wanted it. So I decided, well, you know what? My wife said, matter of fact, when my wife read The Revenant in the Tomb, she was like, so you're going to give this away? And I'm like, yeah. She goes, okay.
You got a smart wife.
Yeah. She does.
Yeah.
She likes, she's got a big pickup, and she likes Steven Seagal movies, and so she's sort of my target audience.
Mhm.
All right.
So we decided at that point, okay, let's bundle this up and publish it. And then it got out there, and people were like, hey, this is great. So when's the follow up to this going to happen? And I'm like,
Huh.
I don't know. So I finished up the Wizard Stone. I got it out there, of course, and in the interim, I've been writing the follow up to The Revenant in the Tomb. So that's how that all started. And I described this in the foreword of the Wizard Stone, that don't get mad at me. This is don't get mad at me if this isn't the follow up to The Revenant in the Tomb. I had other plans. So
The Revenant in the Tomb. What's next? The Revenant goes to college.
no, yeah, no. It's tentatively titled The Revenant and the Cult, because I mentioned a cult. I mentioned a cult in the first book, or in The Revenant in the Tomb. That cult has much deeper ties, or has much deeper roots than people understand. And there's several prophecies that exist within my world, and one of them relates to the cult of the Four, which I briefly mentioned in The Revenant and the Tomb. I also mention it in the Wizard's Stone. And
So they are in the same universe.
yes, they're all in the same universe. Everything I'm writing is in the same universe.
Nice. Me too.
So you're kind of getting, I'm kind of unraveling these things a little, layer at a time, and it's kind of like giving you more depth with each book. So, but the guy in the Revenant, the bad guy at the very end of the Revenant in the Tomb, he is important, and so it's not like it was just a throwaway bad guy.
What is the best order to read these two books in?
I don't think that there is a good order yet.
I mean, are they in the same time period? Or
No. The Wizard Stone comes in about, I think it was like 400 years after the Revenant in the Tomb. So, and the Wizard Stone is kind of at sort of like the pinnacle, or maybe just right after the crest of another cult called the Watchers, which is separate than the cult that I talk about in the next book that I'm going to be doing. And they're associated with another evil that exists in the world. And the prologue to the next book kind of ties those two cults sort of together. And by the time I get to writing the series that I was going to write, that I started writing 20 years ago, I have a whole section in there where it goes into a little bit of depth about all these different entities that are going on and how they're all connected. So it's it's complicated. I'm making it more complicated by purposely not trying to say too much.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Well, I guess I kind of looked at it. I got the Revenant in the Tomb up next in my to read list. So,
Yes.
Because I could at least know I'm reading it in chronological order.
Yeah. So,
Nice. You're going way different than I am. I'm kind of like the Spaceballs type
Yeah.
of mythology, where it's like, did you get all that?
For speed.
Did you get all that? Okay,
You have
let's
all
start
the merch
story.
before the second movie's even made.
What am I looking at? When does this happen in the movie? It's
Here's
happening
two
now. Everything you see now
paragraphs.
is happening now.
Where exactly it's happening?
yeah. This is in Future Vision, where the video is out before the actual movie.
Well, what happened to then? We passed it. When? Just now. Well, when will it now? Boom.
They've gone plaid.
The thing I wanted to do with what I'm writing is kind of like spread out different bits and pieces so people can kind of theory craft about all these different things and kind of keep them engaged in between books.
I know. I tried to do that, but then I realized you can't release a hard. You can't release a hard fantasy about a boy, part of an orphan army with sword and sorcery, and then release a story after that that's a hard science fiction about a group of heisters going to rob a bank, and tell people they're part of the same universe and only happening roughly 50 years apart from each other. And the earlier story happens later.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, all right, I gotta have to shovel some knowledge down your throat a little bit, but don't worry, I'll make it taste good.
Yeah, I had to figure out how to make magic and science work together in my universe, because I kind of had some of the same issues of both science fiction and mythology coming together.
Well, that's one of the interesting things with Star Warden is that this guy swings a sword around and then he shoots things with his laser pistol, and it kind of depends on like what the enemy is and how dead he needs them to be.
How dead he needs them to be?
Well, like some of the opponents are like bots, and then some of them are like living people, and so
it's like the Princess Bride. He's only mostly dead.
Have fun storming the castle.
I don't know, man. All I can think of is Robin Hood Men in Tights, where he's given a lifesaver and instantly healed.
Yeah, but it is kind of campy and stuff, but it's a fun little jaunt so far.
All
But
right.
it's like some of the bots he can just like swing his sword at, but then some of the other bots are flying around and he has to shoot them. And then like I think one of the enemy species is like minotaurs, and so like he has to use the sword to deflect the stuff that they're doing, but the only way he can damage them is with the laser pistol or something.
All right. Yeah. They
You
got
know,
different weaknesses.
The
That's-
laser.
Laser. That's the thing I always thought was interesting is because I'm not a big fan of steampunk, or I just don't follow it. But I wonder if they use like in steampunk lasers and swords, because a lot of that steampunk comes in and around kind of like the turn of the from the
Yeah.
19th to 20th
Yeah.
century. And like in World War One, they were still using cavalry swords.
Oh yeah.
So
Some people don't realize samurai carried shotguns.
yeah,
Yeah, they weren't above using guns.
They weren't stupid.
Yep.
Right.
It's like, oh, we got rifles now. Give me that.
Yeah, you know,
Well,
if it works, get the job done.
Yeah, I kind of think like Nikola Tesla is the cause of some of the steampunk stuff or ideas or things in some cases.
I
And
thought Wild Wild West was the.
well,
Actually, I think that's
too.
what started to popularize it anyway.
But the Y-Files covered an interesting story that I had never. Well, I had heard the two, but I had never heard about the fact that they took place at almost the exact same time. Nikola Tesla was talking about he knew how to make this big super weapon and stuff. And one of the things that the Y-Files pointed out was that there's a theory that maybe possibly he had already created it and accidentally used it whenever he was trying to signal somebody that was like making a trip across the North Pole. And he miscalculated and caused the Tunguska incident in Russia. I believe it's in Russia, where it basically like blew like all the trees down.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, so it's a really weird story, and nobody knows what causes it because some of the portions of it look like a meteor hit, but there's no evidence that a meteor hit. And so it's possible that Nikola Tesla quite literally created his electro gun thingy, and when trying to signal the guy, he got the calculations messed up and shot it too far.
I know that because you were mentioning trying to contact people. His number one goal, like the thing he was in love with, he writes about it all the time. And it's nothing like super duper like, oh, be prepared to get blown away. His number one goal was to invent radio as we know it today, like the communication portion, communicate with each other from across the world. His number one goal was to create radio, and he got super fucking close to the point where he literally built the device to do it, like way earlier than it was supposed to be. But then, like at one of the last moments, lost freaking funding to it. And then that he kind of went in a downward spiral a bit after that. But you could actually look up the device. And he actually also discovered X-rays by accident 3 weeks before they were officially discovered.
So, actually, okay, can I put in before we show this teaser? Because at the beginning of this stream, I started talking about how you guys should start doing shorts to advertise your books. This is kind of what I had in mind, just something like this, but it's only a minute long instead of a minute and 10 seconds. And then that way you might stand a better chance of, one, we can make a short little commercial that everybody can show before their streams. But two, start spreading the word on YouTube using a YouTube's own short algorithm to get you guys' words out.
We'll do the short, and I'll tell you my thoughts on it, because I did a short, and I also did a regular video. But show the thing, and I'll tell you my results on it.
Because I was trying to convince Black Knight he needed to do one. Quaff is such a talented artist.
Yeah, that's what I need as an original artist, but they're so damn expensive.
Sorry, what was that, James? I think I had it cranked up too loud. It drowned you out.
I said that's what I need as an original artist, but they're too damn expensive.
For good reason. But yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm just gonna say I love that so much. It gives me some like Ninja Scroll and Afro Samurai vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyway, so I did a short and I did a regular trailer, and both of them were exactly a minute long. The short got way more views, but had after about like 10 or 20 seconds dropped off to like 10% retention. But the regular video continued for about 40 to 50% viewer retention pretty much to the end. And I think that's the thing with the shorts. If you're going to do something, it has to be very short. And if it's not like, I guess, Fuzzy Puppies or something like that, they're not gonna stay. At least on YouTube. I don't know, but that's the same on TikTok. But the regular videos, if you have an engaging enough trailer, they will stay through. At least half of them will stay through the trailer.
Yeah, I had a couple of like commercials made up myself. It was just me standing right here. It was about 30 seconds, quick pitch, and I actually did run them as YouTube ads, but it didn't seem to work much. And I know I'm not like probably the greatest pitch man. You know, if I put something actually a little more fun together than just some middle-aged redneck standing in front of a webcam going, buy my book, then maybe it'd be a little more engaging. But and for the time being, I don't have much else to work with.
Excuse me?
Go ahead.
Do you resemble my remark?
He just thinks middle-aged redneck.
Well, the thing is that you could get a subscription if you're going to be into this heavy duty. I have 2 subscriptions. One of them is for, I think, ArtGrid.io, which is where you get video, and then the other one was the Adobe Shutterstock. And yeah, it cost me probably about $200 a year, but with the amount of graphics that I get for that, I can make still images into trailers, and a bunch of other promotional stuff, and then you get then with Shutterstock also has music that you can use, or you can use YouTube's royalty-free stuff, and put out some fairly effective trailers just with a little ingenuity. So in the end, it's going to cost money one way or the other, but you can still do it with like illustrations you can find off of like Shutterstock and whatnot.
Well, yeah, and I hate to say the bad word that I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get nailed to the stake for, but if you're absolutely desperate, there's now the new AI apps that you could get on your phone for art too.
True.
Oh no,
Yeah.
You said it. Quick, somebody hand me some pearls. I must
nothing wrong
clutch
with
them.
that. Half of the stuff around us has already slowly been generated in AI. We barely even notice. That's why I don't mind using AI in some of my tech stuff to check for punctuation errors and spelling errors and stuff, is because we already do that.
Yeah, it's spell check. I mean, if you really don't have the money, and I wouldn't even trouble me so much, because I mean, like I said, I go get stock art off of not Shutterstock, off of Yeah, no, I think it's off of Adobe stock,
Hmm.
and just license it that way, and you get up to like 500,000 views on it, which is good because if I get 500,000 people viewing my freaking trailer video, I don't think I'll have to worry about spending the money to get the extended license. So, but the other thing is also the music, because it's not just images; it's also you got to have the appropriate music there, and then the rest you can do through like Shotcut, which is a free video editor.
Or let me do it for you. And just tell
That's
me
true.
the way you want it to look like. And actually, I'll say this, Herman. You want to save a little cash? I don't know if it's as good as those, but check out Canva, because it's
Yeah,
like
I've seen
$10 a month, and it's yeah. I've used that for some stuff. It's good for some quick edits, and it has a lot, and I mean a lot of stock photos and video, which is always good to have.
Yeah. And you can also do stuff like this.
Yeah, that wasn't done with Canva though. I did that in After Effects, which is way more expensive.
I can still see your
And
shoulder
from-
frequency.
And from
What-
scratch.
What's that? What's that, Billy?
So I can still see your shoulder. Went full screen.
This backwards. Okay, there we go. Now you can see
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, that's premium custom work right there. 100% from, well, not from scratch, but I started with a black screen, and that's what it ended up looking like.
Pretty good.
We're just
Yeah.
trying to figure out ways to help boost you guys, get you more well known.
And I'm not, read some of my stuff in exchange for some graphic design. I always need more people reading my stuff, and as well as sharing my stuff and giving me feedback. I always need more and more feedback. And most of the graphic design people charge you for, they can do in an hour and a half, and they just don't want to tell you.
And like I said, Black Knight's looking for a voice person. I'm more than willing to do it, but for what it sounds like he wants to draw that attention, audience attention, he almost needs like a deep, firm, like voice. Go with.
Well, I can do it.
I don't think I got the mic for that, or else I'd be trying to like dip into more of that myself.
Yeah.
See, I don't. I know.
Tap
I don't.
into that inner Johnny Cash or Elvis.
Well, for him, it's more like war, a continuance, a constant
War
battle.
never change.
In a world.
You know what you can
All of us
In
thought
a
of fucking
world where
Fallout.
war never changes.
you know what you
Ron
can
Perlman.
do.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things you can do. There are a few free voice changers out there that you can actually, like imitate a voice. Those do exist, but also I've done certain things with Audacity. Is that what it's called? I think it's called Audacity. It's the
Yeah,
free video
Audacity.
editor.
Free
Yeah,
one, the
that's right.
free yeah.
Yeah, where you can do a bunch of stuff with filtering and whatnot, and then drop the pitch. But you can only do so much before it begins to sound really artificial.
Mm-hmm.
But I
I,
mean,
I use a similar program to do all my short videos because my
Yeah.
voice doesn't sound that good.
And
Yeah, me
me
neither.
trying to turn my voice into a male voice wouldn't go over too well.
All right, yeah.
I know. Let's get somebody to voice match Harvey Firestein for that commercial.
Herman sounds pretty close, damn it.
what? I hate my voice. I absolutely hate it.
You do?
Yeah,
Why is that?
I didn't know how much I hated
Hmm.
my voice until I heard. a
Actually heard
recording
it.
of
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get used to that. I don't get used to that. And I got to record at least like 7 times a week.
So, but I don't know if you guys saw that one that teaser video where I had where I had a bunch of different voices that would, while I was revealing the cover of my next book, I had like a bunch of voices in the background. I did a couple of those voices and I pitch shifted them, and then I would add like reverb or something to give it more depth and to kind of hide it. And so it made me sound like Emperor Palpatine, the very end laugh. That was me. And that was Emperor Palpatine. And then the very beginning voice is also me too, which he says, use it sparingly, use it wisely. Or no, it's time for you to find your way in the world. So, or hit up your friends, which you guys are kind of doing.
All of the above, I say. It's very
Yeah.
important to equip yourselves.
Yeah.
Even in the areas you don't think you need equipping in, you probably need the most. Particularly marketing. Terrible people get their shit sold because of marketing.
Yes. The difference between a mediocre author and a great author is marketing and promotion.
Oh gosh, that's unfortunately true. I found that out. I was reading through this author. I'm not gonna say
Apparently,
which
it's
one.
easy to manipulate the New York Seller's Best Time list. Maybe we should all
Yeah.
get you guys on the New York Seller.
I mean, with the small little club we got, we probably can start manipulating shit if we want to be that dirty.
No,
But it's a bit too much.
you
But
can't.
yeah,
You
like what
can't.
Herman was saying is like I actually read a famous author everybody was saying is great, and I'm reading his shit, and it's literally shit. Like stories are good, but then like the writing, the delivery, everything about it's like, wow, this isn't that good.
Yeah. Well, even like I always had this. I was, and I still am on this writing forum, and I'm not going to mention them, but we had these discussions about, well, there are rules to writing, and there are certain rules. The major one being don't bore your reader.
Oh,
But
sure.
but it's like, well, such and such doesn't start his books out that way. His books don't really grab you in the first chapter, and you'll always get, well, that's because they're, such and such. And then the more you start researching into some of these authors, some of them had some real flaws. Like I think it was Asimov had some real, it kind of was Asimov's sort of interpersonal relations was very stiff. Dune apparently has a lot of typos in it and a lot of grammatical errors in it because it's a huge freaking book, and the people
Which one?
I think it's
Dune.
Dune. Yeah.
Dude? Yeah, I believe that.
Because the people that published it, they weren't fiction writers. They were, I think it was like an auto manual publisher.
There were all these big ass words.
Yeah. and so but it never changed because they always kept the formula the same. So you do have these discrepancies in these manuscripts. What it comes down to is people will overlook a lot of the flaws that might be in a book if you have something much bigger in it, like the story or the premise.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I still feel like crap.
Yeah. Well, we're coming up on 2.5 hours just about, so we're gonna wrap it up in a few minutes here.
I know it's funny you say that because I recently picked up a book called, I said it multiple times in previous chats, but How to Write Pulp Fiction by James Scott Bell. And it actually covers a lot of the same stuff we talked about tonight. And a lot of the stuff we came to conclusion-wise reinforces it, including what you just mentioned about not being the best writer, but having a large fan base and being memorable, which was probably like Robert E. Howard's story. I mentioned early on before you arrived. I'm not sure if you were in the chat before that Robert E. Howard was considered lowbrow in his time, so were a lot of other writers. And one of the things this thing suggests is just focus on the audience, focus on your audience, focus on what they like, and don't strive to be the best of everything. Just strive to be the best that your audience expects.
But always strive for fun. I mean, for example, I think Maji can back me up on this one. We're both Transformers fans. There's a lot of problems with the stories in Transformers. Plot holes left, right, and center. Did we care? No, because it was fun.
Optimus can drive through the plot holes. What are you talking about?
That's right.
That's one of them. I think that's one of them. Like his, going back to being the one a-hole and the guy that continuously refers to the book here. Yeah.
All right, later readout.
Have a great night, readout.
Later.
One of my favorites was Devastator forming inside of Astro Chain, and there was plenty of room. But
like something we obviously reaffirmed tonight that this talks about is how your readers want something that from you that's usually singular aspect more than multiple aspect, and it's probably like you have a really, really great, compelling plot, or you have really, really super duper interesting characters. And if you're really great, you have 2 or 3 of them.
Actually, I think tonight has been the most actual productive stream we've done for the weekly wing it in terms of structuring and all that.
Perhaps.
we covered a lot.
And to think, I want to come on here and talk about video games tonight. That did not happen.
Well, when you
Sad
bring
thing is,
all
no
these-
one was watching, but I really liked tonight. It was very informative.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's good to pull from other people's perspectives and stuff. Yeah, I'd like to see more of it. More writers talking about writing sort of ordeals.
Yes, community is a very big deal. Without it, let's face it, if we weren't in contact with each other, how many of us would just let the ideas pass through our minds and never do anything with them? Yep. I think we all become a lot more productive just from talking to each other.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a little creators club going on here, and I always challenge people, if you're not creating something, go out there and create something.
Anyway, parting plugs, guys.
Where do we start? Want me to start? Start, I guess.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Well, you can primarily find me at worldwithoutendlore.com. You can find all my contacts there, worldwithoutendlore.com. If you really want to stay up to date with everything I'm doing, that's worldwithoutendlore.substack.com. And you can check out my daily short video releases about World Without End in a short video format on World Without End Lore on YouTube. That's a mouthful.
All right. Raven.
I actually submitted something for the what was it? The thing, the fire or the flame?
The RNH media prompt.
Yeah. And that's available, I guess, all three places now. raveninvermore.locals.com or the raven.nevermore substack.com. Also over on minds.com.
All right, Billy Bob.
Kapla. Frequency. We should totally do the Shalar shit. We'll have like a collection of all our like stories.
Kapla.
We should just team up and write a little parody. Poor Royce.
I will actually try to write a story. Okay.
There you go.
That would be
I'll give you my ideas. We could probably brainstorm and you write it. How's that?
Well, listen, I already got an idea and I've kind of got a structure for it.
Maji-chan.
Well, I'll shill for Trippy since he's not here. Trippy Soul Poet guy, check him out. He's awesome. You can find a lot of his poetry at Iron Age Media. Same with my Substack submission is on Iron Age Media Reflections. Feel free to check it out. Give Richard a shout out. He's working really hard to get his magazine up and going. It's where you can find more indie creations.
All right, and Herman.
Hang on. It's coming up. It's coming up right there. Buy that book.
There it is.
The Wizard Stone.
The Wizard is stoned.
I will be buying the first book this month because I just got most of my bills paid off and parts bought for my car and stuff. So
cool.
All right. Don't forget to pick up a digital magazine for yourself either, Billy Bob. It's free.
Sure. I don't think I have a Substack account.
Hey, Mesosphere. Or Mariosphere. Sorry. I keep calling it Mesosphere.
Yeah. Well, this is the part where normally I would shill for Haley Starbag Kitty, but I'm going to shill for Mirrorsphere Origins. Sorry, he kind of showed up at the end. It's a little late. But check out his stuff because he's working on something awesome. And I can't wait to get him back on here again so we could talk about it. Anyway, if you enjoyed this presentation, hit the like. And if you didn't, I appreciate you stopping by. See you next time. And God bless.
See ya.
Later. Subscribe to everything.
Oops, I did it again. Hang on.
Quack.
There we go. That's better.
Quack.
Hey, the cat didn't talk this time. We're good.
Kapla.
Kapla.